Good day everyone! Welcome to another day of learning. I am Dennis Kinikito Ipon, a second-year student taking up a Bachelor of Secondary Education major in Social Studies from Negros Oriental State University, Shatun Campus. For today's video, we are going to tackle the forms of learner-centered classroom organization, procedures, and physical structure in Unit 3. But my assigned topic is only the forms of learner-centered classroom organization, while the procedure and physical structure would be assigned by my groupmates. But before we start, let us know first our learning objectives. So at the end of this video, you will be able to identify various forms of learner-centered classroom organization based on learners' needs. Learn about learner-centered classroom management and organization. Explain the importance of learner-centered classroom organization. Now, let us discuss first the learner-centered classrooms. First, it focuses primarily on individual students' learning. Second, teachers' role is to facilitate growth by utilizing students' interests and unique needs as guide for meaningful instruction. Third, student-centered classrooms are by no means characterized by a free-for-all. And the fourth is, these classrooms are goal-based. Students' learning is judged by whether they achieve predetermined, developmentally oriented objectives. In essence, everyone can earn by mastering the material. And lastly, because people learn best when they hear, see, and manipulate variables, the method by which learning occurs is often experiential. The organization and management of learner-centered classrooms. The classroom is a vehicle for getting students from where they are when they enter the schoolhouse door to where they need to be an academic year later. Ideally, we all would like to see at least 1 year of progress for 1 year of seat time. In talking about classroom management and student achievement, it may help to think of the teacher as the driver of the car who needs to respond to the passengers' needs in order to ensure that they reach their destination. So let's have developing a learner-centered classroom. The student-centered learning environment, the interest of the students take center stage and the teacher gives students choice and voice, finding ways to provide learning experiences that focus on what students value. In the student-centered classroom, students take a more active role in the education experience. Unfortunately, developing a student-centered learning environment isn't always easy, especially if your experience frame learning in a more traditional way. For many, implementing a student-centered learning environment sounds great in theory, but putting it into practice is a different story. Below, we'll explore some strategies, principles, and offer some proven tips that can make the student-centered learning environment a reality and success in your classroom. So first, turn your classroom into a community. In a traditional classroom, the teacher speaks, the student listen. In a student-centered classroom, the students speak, the teacher listens, interjects and facilitates conversation when needed, and then thanks the students for their participation. By involving students directly in the education process, and by enabling them to interact with one another, students begin to feel a sense of community. More importantly, they are shown that what they feel, what they value, and what they think are what matter most. In a student-centered classroom, the teacher acts not only as educator, but as both facilitator and activator. Second, develop trust and communication. A student-centered classroom or learning environment cannot exist without trust and open communication. Trust and open communication are achieved by always being fair with students, listening to them, and allowing them to speak. Third, find ways to integrate technology. Developing a student-centered classroom is all about engagement. The better you're able to engage students in any activity or project, the more involved they'll become in the learning process. In today's world, technology is one of the most effective tools for engaging students. Technology is not the future, it's the present. When students are given the opportunity to integrate exciting web tools and technology into the learning process, they become eager, anxious, participant in just about any learning activity. Fourth, create an environment where mutual respect and quest for knowledge guide behavior, not roles. A classroom without roles seems a little far-fetched. Well, it may be if you plan on having a teacher-centered classroom where students spend half their time learning, and the other half try to keep from being bored out of their skills. Having an engaging classroom environment with engaging projects, engaging activity, and engaging discussions will foster mutual respect and encourage a pursuit of learning that leaves little time for disruption. Fifth, replace homework with engaging project-based learning activities. Some studies indicate there is a positive correlation between homework and improved grades and the test scores, while other studies suggest little correlation. In the teacher-centered classroom, in-class learning and students' productivity is lower, making homework more necessary and regular testing essential for measuring learning and performance. In the student-centered classroom, where activities and projects are engaging, students become much more eager to learn, and in-class productivity is much higher. Sixth, develop ongoing projects. It is one of the keys to developing a student-centered classroom and learning environment is to create ongoing projects for students. Ongoing projects promote mastery of subject matter being taught and learned, learning objectives and standards for just about any subject matter can be met through well-designed projects and activities, and providing students with various project choices allows them to demonstrate what they're learning. Lastly, allow students to share in decision making. Creating a student-centered classroom requires collaboration. It requires placing students at the center of their own learning environment by allowing them to be involved in deciding why, what, and how their learning experience will take shape. In the classroom organization, we have room structuring. The physical layout reflects your teaching style. If you want students to collaborate in small groups, for example, organize them around tables or cluster of desks. For frequent whole group discussion, try a circle or U-shaped desk configuration. If you plan an individualized, self-paced curriculum, you might set up learning stations. So when you say classroom organization, it focuses on the physical environment. Effective teacher organized safe classroom environment for the learners. Classroom management and classroom organization are intertwined. While roles and routines influence students' behavior, classroom organizations affect the physical elements of the classroom, making it more productive environment for its users. In the room structuring, we have first creating a caring, child-centered environment takes lots of thought and planning. In learning-centered classrooms, teachers no longer determine physical arrangement primarily to provide personally assigned individual space. Rather, the spatial environment is designed to facilitate collaboration. Some teachers in learning-centered classroom arrange their rooms in advance. Others set up the room arrangement after negotiation with their students. In reviewing research on seating arrangements, Lambert concluded that seating flexibility as opposed to a perpetually fixed seating arrangement is a necessary prerequisite for an interactive classroom. Next, flexible room arrangement. In learning-centered classrooms, teachers no longer determine physical arrangement primarily to provide personally assigned individual space. Rather, the spatial environment is designed to facilitate collaboration. Some teachers in learning-centered classrooms arrange their rooms in advance. Others set up the room arrangement after negotiations with their students. In reviewing research on seating arrangements, Lambert concluded that seating flexibility as opposed to a perpetually fixed seating arrangement is a necessary prerequisite for an interactive classroom. Appropriate room arrangements that support the curriculum will often shift across grade levels, and these tend to become more formalized with increasing grade levels as cited in Gallego and Cole. And the other one is varied social forum. Another important aspect of environment is providing flexible and diverse forum for students to gain information and share expertise. To provide multiple forum and flexible grouping arrangement in your classroom, you may change seating patterns from unit to unit and from activity to activity. And in the next one, collaborative classroom. Effective communication and collaboration are essential to becoming a successful learner. It is primarily through dialogue and examining different perspectives that students become knowledgeable, strategic, self-determined, and empathetic. Moreover, involving students in real-world tasks and linking new information to prior knowledge requires effective communication and collaboration among teachers, students, and others. And the other one, characteristics of a collaborative classroom. Collaborative classroom seems to have four general characteristics. The first two capture changing relationship between teachers and students. The third characterizes teachers' new approaches to instruction. The fourth addresses the composition of a collaborative classroom. And lastly, activity-based learning. Understanding activity-based learning is significant for creating appropriate social environment. However, in conjunction with this knowledge, the physical environment must be well thought out to support the transactions that are intended to take place. Therefore, the importance of room structuring is the setup of a classroom on how a classroom is being managed. The teacher needs to make sure his or her classroom arranged for the students to be productive. The students need to be placed in arrangement that will keep them focused on the lesson. It also helps students feel safe and secure. When students feel safe and secure, they walk to a classroom knowing what is expected of them. They are ready to learn. And trust is extremely important in the relationship between teacher and his students. And that would be all. Thank you for listening everyone, and God bless us all.